Welcome to the You Reap What You Sow, a podcast that explores the intricate relationship between life and finance. In today's episode, we'll cover the topics of the beaten path mentality and how it affects our decision-making, the nature of money and risk, the importance of psychological balance, the false perception of fairness in society, and the power of statistics in forecasting our future states. Let's talk about the beaten path. You know, that path that everyone else seems to be on, the one where you go to school, get a job, get married, have kids, and so on. It's not necessarily a bad thing, especially back in the day when everyone believed in God and a higher power. It made life easier because everyone was on the same page and didn't have to think too much about their actions. But now, things are different. God is dead, and so are those carrots that used to give us meaning in life. We are left with whips and no rewards. And the idea of following that beaten path seems pointless. So why do people still do it? Some might do it out of habit or because they think there's nothing better out there. Others might not understand the nature of money and risk. Speaking of money, we all work for it. We rent out our time to someone else and prioritize money over our own time. But that's not how it should be. Money should work for us, not the other way around. And when we work for someone else's dream, we'll never be the best we can be. Money isn't everything, though. It's just a tool that needs to be used wisely. It's a voting mechanism that shows what products or services people want. And when we work for someone else, we're giving them control over our livelihood. That's a scary thought. But risks are scary too, right? Wrong. Risk is everywhere, and we take risks every day without even realizing it. Going outside, driving to work, even taking medication, but taking risks can also lead to opportunities like getting a salary for driving to work. And if we don't take risks, we're actively taking on the risk of not taking risks. Our feelings and desire for fairness can also hurt us in the long run. Life isn't fair, and the system will never be fair. The stakeholders will never have equal amounts of stake in the system. Even if we redistributed wealth equally amongst everyone, it would eventually cluster around certain people again. When wealth clusters, it doesn't mean it will surely cluster around the same participants, and this doesn't matter. And that is a common problem with statistical thinking of the average person. Statistics doesn't know who will live, die, win, lose within a dynamic system, but it can forecast how many. And that's its superpower. No one really cares about specific individuals' range of potential decisions. Everyone cares about the aggregate because at the end of the day, even that range is forecastable. Because, okay, you might have been raised with the notion that quote-unquote possibilities are endless, but stop kidding yourself. And finally, let's talk about how proactive we are. Proactivity is on the decline, especially after God's death, because incentives or carrots are tainted or absent, and the whip is prevalent in all aspects of our lives. Planning and being proactive is hard, as it is having a balanced psychology. After God died, the millennials were bred with the quote-unquote live in the moment and have as much fun as you can mentality, leading to the dopamine receptor burnout that didn't do any favors to the remaining carrots in the system. That created a whole generation of imbalanced, reactive people that need a father state to alleviate any of their responsibilities and let them get drunk on the quote-unquote live in the moment distractions. Instead of trying to get a bigger and bigger carrot to mitigate that burnout, you might see that you need to invent your own overarching carrot. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights about life and finance, make sure to subscribe to our newsletter.